Hello Year 10, it's Mr McLindon again. As you know, you are going to have to produce a speech, and that is the task for this week. Last week you hopefully will have done the planning, and today we're going to start writing speech. That's for two reasons. You have to produce a speech for the speaking and listening elements of your GCSE English language. It's the only thing that you won't have to do in the exam hall. You will actually have to record a speech, and we send that to the exam board. Also, as you know, in GCSE English Language Paper 2, you may be asked to write a speech, so that's why it's so important that we're really good at this skill. So this week's tasks. Number 1, write your own speech, and this will be recorded when we return to school. Email this task to english@thegrangeacademy.co.uk and put your English teacher's name in the subject box, or submit it to your English teacher via Show My Homework. Task number 2 this week, split your speech into cue cards and rehearse it. And task number 3, ongoing, is the Seneca revision. So we've got Shakespeare tasks either on Macbeth or Romeo and Juliet, and there's the class code and the link there for you to access those. Okay, so you should have planned your speech by now. Why I love something or why I hate something makes for a great speech. It's something you're passionate about. You could do an environmental speech. So for example, how I would help save the earth. Maybe a social issue, why Britain should have harsher prisons. Maybe something about tattoos, always a hot topic. How to improve your fitness. You could do more advisory speech or persuasive speech, and so on. Maybe even how young people could receive, a better diet from Halton Council. What facilities do there need to be in your area to keep you entertained and safe and improve your experience in the area you live in? So hopefully by now you have 5 ideas ready to turn into a really good speech. If you've got a few more, even better. If you've got 4, that might just about do, but ideally more than 5 ideas to turn into a speech. Okay, so crucial that you develop your ideas fully. Each of those ideas needs to become a big fat burger paragraph that starts with a topic sentence, that has at least 2 more sentences, that refers to a specific example to prove your point, that's relevant to your audience, and maybe, if it's relevant, uses persuasive techniques like rhetorical questions, statistics, emotive language, and so on. That's what you practiced last week when you looked at Boris Johnson's speech. Okay, so here's a waggle. I want you to see if you can have a quick read of this and work out which sentence is which colour font is the topic sentence, the specific detail, the direct address, and the emotive language. Okay, so we begin with a topic sentence, primarily with a connective. Then we'd say what the rest of the sentence is going to be about. One great reason why you should use the internet in your senior years is to stay in touch with your loved ones. I'm really thinking about my audience in the next sentence. So start with a topic sentence, then I move on. Perhaps you were heartbroken when your dear grandchild moved to Toronto. I'm thinking about old people, they love being in touch with their grandchildren. Then, as I move on, I try to use a little bit of emotive language here. I haven't just said relationships, I said special relationships. Keep those special relationships alive. Then, like I said, I want you to use specific details. For example, FaceTime is a completely free video call app. Really nice specific detail that will enable you to keep up with all the juicy gossip. Finally, if you can, persuasive technique. You really should give it a go. That's direct address. And it's also an imperative, isn't it? You really should. And that clear instruction makes it persuasive. So now it's time for you to write your speech. You've studied Boris Johnson, you've done some planning, you've seen a waggle of a burger paragraph. It's over to you. Just talk you through this. So obviously greet your audience, welcome them to the Grange Academy, and then produce your paragraphs using the connectives. Maybe try and use these persuasive techniques, throw them into your paragraphs to make them, more powerful, and finally finish with a conclusion. Okay, so that's your main task for this week. But then, once you finish writing your speech, there's another. Of course, you email your speech to your English teacher, but the next task you don't need to email to your English teacher. So the next task is to create cue cards. The more that you can look up at the camera, look up at your audience, the better your speech will be. So having a few keywords and ideas on a cue card is a really good way of making sure that you interact with the audience more. And here's how you go about creating a cue card. So have one main idea or heading per card. Clearly write using large fonts so you can easily read the card yourself. Have plenty of white space around each word or little phrase. You don't want to be having to look hard and reading from it. That's just like reading a speech, isn't it? You want those few keywords really clear that are just going to jog your memory so you know what to say. And finally, use bullet points and numbers to put your ideas in order. Number each card actually so that you get them in the right order when it's the day of your speech. When you've created your speech, once you've created your cue card, start to rehearse it. Why not perform it to a family member or just have a few goes in front of the mirror? The more you rehearse, the better you'll be. So give it your best shot. Okay, I want you to work really hard this week. I want you to get this done so that you come back to school and that you're not behind. You're ready to produce your GCSE speech, and you've also practiced this really important skill that could be on English language component 2. Speak to you soon. All the best. Stay safe and well.